like he played for the Bengals.
Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of State of the Jungle live from the First Star Logistics studio right here in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm your host, Malik Wright, joined by my co-host, my main man. We got Logan Fulmer. Got a lot to talk about. It's a big game this week. A lot of talk has been circulating around the internet the last couple of hours from mediocre safeties and things of that nature. We're going to get into that. But before we do, make sure you guys leave a like on this video if you like our content. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we appreciate you guys for supporting us on State of the Jungle. We want to keep it. We want to start it off with the biggest news, right? The return. I mean, I reported on it a couple of weeks ago where I told everybody, I said Ja'Marr Chase was not going to return until the Chiefs game, and here we are. It's the Chiefs game, and Uno is set to return. Ja'Marr Chase is set to be in the starting lineup. We get the trio of Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and Ja'Marr Chase back again for a chopped liver Kansas City Chiefs defense. I'm excited for this game. I'm pumped up about this game. I have a lot I want to say about this game, but before I do, I'm going to hand it off to Logan because Logan is the much more respectful one out of us, right? Logan is the much more reasonable one out of us. Listen, I'll tell you this about me. Look, and a lot of people have questioned and asked me, "Hey, Malik, did you move here because you're actually a Bengals fan, or did you move here because it was easy to become an influencer in the Bengals community?" I said, "Man, come on. Like, what are you talking about? I've been a Bengals fan my entire life, man. I've been around the organization my entire life, man. Like, rooting for this team, seeing the Bengals go through all their ups and downs and stuff like that. And one thing I want to say before I hand it off to Logan is, Bengals fans, you earned this moment. Listen, this was not an easy road. This is not luck. Don't let anybody tell you that's what this is. This is what it's like to have a franchise quarterback. This is what it's like to have a competent organization, a functioning organization. So you got a lot of people out there that just can't accept the fact that the Bengals are not the same old Bungles. You got a lot of people out there that can't accept the fact that the Cincinnati Bengals are not going nowhere. What's that song? We ain't go. The Bengals aren't going anywhere. You got a lot of people who are just waiting for the Bengals to bungle up, waiting for the Bengals to revert back to their old ways. But this is a new era. It's a new day. This isn't your grandfather's Bengals. But again, you're going to hear a lot from me from this show. You're going to hear a lot of passionate rants from me from this show, a lot of things that I need to talk about on this show. But I'm going to kick it off to Logan because, again, Logan is the nicer one out of me and them.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, it's going to be a hell of a football game. That's really all you can ask for. I mean, these matchups don't come around, especially in the regular season, as often as they have this year. We're going to have a few more before we end the year. I mean, like Malik said, the Bengals have put themselves in a position to enjoy games like this. Obviously you still want to win, but you've kind of eased it a little bit. You've eased the nerves a little bit. You got a lot to kind of rely on. It's going to be a fun one. At the end of the day, it's going to be one hell of a football game. Obviously, we all want to win, but don't ever forget to appreciate how good of a football game this is truly going to be.
Yeah, and so, we're going to talk about the matchup and how we see the matchup playing out and things of that nature. But I'll say this right here, man. The return of Ja'Marr Chase, it transforms this offense. Yeah. It transforms this offense. Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to make any qualms about it. I'm pumped up. I'm fired up. Listen, I just came off of having a flu, and I'm on this show. This show is my flu game. And I'm that pumped up for this show and for this moment because there's been a lot of disrespect the Bengals' way, right? What Geno Smith say? They wrote us off, but we ain't right back. Listen, there's a lot of people out there that made a lot of statements, a lot of people out there with a lot of assumptions. And guess what? Questions get answered. This is the time that we remind people. Listen, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, for those of you who don't know me. And one of the big sayings on Game of Thrones was, the North remembers. Well, guess what? The Bengals play in the AFC North. We remember. We remember the disrespect that we've been told. But listen, it seems like a lot of people forgot who Ja'Marr Chase is. Ja'Marr Chase is the same guy that the first time when we played the Kansas City Chiefs last year, he had more receiving yards than Patrick Mahomes had passing yards, okay? Ja'Marr Chase is one of the best young receivers in the National Football League, and I think he was well on his way to proving that this year. Ja'Marr Chase is so damn good, right? Ja'Marr Chase is so damn good that the guy literally has missed a month of football, 4 games, and he still has a chance to hit 1,000 yards this season. Ja'Marr Chase is that guy. Ja'Marr Chase is him. So when people talk about, Joe Burrow, he can't win without Ja'Marr Chase. Well, he did that the entire month of November. He was throwing to the likes of Trenton Julian Edelman-Irwin. He was throwing to the likes of Samaje Perine. He was throwing to the likes of Trenton Taylor. He was throwing to so many different receivers and getting so many people involved. Guess what? The excuses go out the window. The disrespect goes out the window. Because guess what? The one thing that this Bengals football team proved is that they can win without Jamar Chase. Listen, having Uno back in the lineup just makes this team much more lethal, but I firmly believe the Bengals had to learn how to win without Jamar Chase. Now that they've done that, now that they realize that they can win in different facets of the game, they can run the ball, they can throw to their tight ends, they can throw to their other receivers, they can throw to their other playmakers that aren't just Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and just pretty much hail deep balls down the field. They have proven that this offense is versatile, and that's a very, very scary sight. What do you think, Logan?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit here, but to go a little bit more in depth about it, last year when the Bengals made the run to the Super Bowl, they had all these explosive plays. Time and time again, their offense was explosive play, explosive play, explosive play. And if they didn't have that explosive play, they weren't, they weren't very good. It kind of took them a while to get going if they lacked that explosive play. But this year, what has been so awesome to see, they've refined everything on the offensive end of the football. And that's crazy because you just went to the Super Bowl. But time and time again this year, they've showed they can drive down the field with these long, methodical drives. And that's going to be so extremely important this week when you're playing the likes of Patrick Mahomes. You got to keep that guy off the field as much as possible. And that style of football is just so much more repetitive. That's repeatable. That's not your fluke. That's not your lucky big plays. It's a style of offense that can work time and time again. And now the Bengals have shown they can get to the Super Bowl with these big explosive plays. They can win games without Jamar Chase with this good, solid, just spread the ball around offense. They've shown that they can win in a number of different ways. So, it creates issues for the defense. How do you really want to try to stop them? What are you going to do? Because I don't know if it's possible right now.
You see, Logan is, again, I told you guys, Logan was the much nicer one out of me and him. Let me remind everybody what I said last year, and I'm going to say it again. The Chiefs do not have a defense. The Chiefs have a fence. They have one of the worst defensive coordinators in the National Football League, who has literally made his career off of having an absurd amount of talent in those 2 damn Super Bowls he won with the Giants and Steve Spagnuolo. Let me remind everybody, Steve Spagnuolo does not have a defense. He has a fence. And the fact that Justin Reed came out and he said what he had to say about locking up whoever, first of all, my man, know your assignment, right? Know your assignment. Know the players that you are guarding. Know the players, know the numbers on the back of the jersey as well as the nameplate, because those are the same people you talking about, you're going to have to answer for on Sunday. Again, that's the thing about this Chiefs team. That's the thing about a lot of these teams in the NFL. Everybody got to talk. Everybody want to say this and say that. But guess what? You have to answer for those things that you're saying. Because the fact of the matter is, I don't look at the Kansas City Chiefs defense, and I don't even think that they're at the point where he should be talking. I don't even think they're good enough to where he should be talking. What have you got? What is your best signature win? The toughest team one of the toughest teams you guys played was the Buffalo Bills this year. And what happened? Like, what are we talking about here? The Bengals have had the Chiefs number. And this is the game where we remind you who we are. This is the game where we remind the entire NFL who we are. Listen, I set up on this show several weeks ago. I set up on the sit down several weeks ago, and I told everybody, I said, listen, the Bengals are still the team to be in the AFC. They had to get things going. I understand, but we're not giving out regular season awards. This is not a regular season, award-winning league. This is not what it's about. It's about putting it all together. So the simple fact, the way I'm looking at it is, I think I know a lot of people have been talking trash, and a lot of people want the Bengals to go away, but we're not going anywhere. The Bengals aren't going anywhere. The Bengals understand the opportunity that's in front of them. Guess what, Kansas City Chiefs? You might have had the Bills number, but you don't have the Bengals number. You still have to answer to us, because as of right now, the Bengals are the big bros in the AFC, and a lot of people must have forgot. Listen, we beat y'all. Listen, we beat y'all twice in 1 month. We beat y'all at home after being down, came back, beat y'all. Y'all said it was a fluke. So we went to y'all house to do it twice. This is just to remind you who we are. And now you guys are coming to our house and you talking trash and you saying this and you saying that. And I feel passionate. I love this show. I love First Star. The reason why, because I could talk about my fandom. Yes, I am a part of the media. Yes, I am. Yes, I do cover this team. Yes, I do break a lot of news and stuff like that. But I'm also a Bengals fan. I'm just personally tired of the disrespect that the Bengals get in the media, that the Bengals get beyond fan base, that Joe Burrow gets beyond fan bases. And it's all because of people hate. It's all because people don't want to see us win. They ain't believe in us. But what DJ Khaled said, God did. Like, the fact of the matter is, I think the Bengals are going to shock a lot of people this week. And I said it on the sit down. I said, after this game on Sunday, the Bengals will be the talk of the town. The Bengals will be the team people talk about. The Bengals will be like, everybody will be like, oh my God, watch out for the Bengals. The fact of the matter is, we know what this team is capable of. So don't sit up here and tell me we can't beat the Chiefs, because we did it twice. And if you ask me, the Chiefs aren't as lethal. Now, they're good still. Patrick Mahomes is damn good. He's leading the MVP race. I think Patrick Mahomes is the MVP this season. So I don't want anybody twisting my words, making it seem like I don't think Patrick Mahomes is a threat. Listen, the fact of the matter is, they do fear us, Matt. They do fear us. They do fear us. They don't want to see us win. They don't want to see us be great. Man, I'm not channeling my inner anybody. I'm channeling my inner me. I've been on this train long before anybody. And some of these guys wanted Zach fired and wanted Zach gone and wanted, all of these different changes. I kept saying, stay patient, stay the course. Things will finally break. The fact of the matter is, this Cincinnati Bengals team is going to shock a lot of people down the stretch. Some of these, the so-called AFC leaders and juggernauts, again, the Bengals going to answer that. The Bengals going to answer that. And listen, the reason why I came to Cincinnati, if anybody wanted to know, I sent Emily Parker an email a couple of years ago, and I said, hey, when I moved to Cincinnati, I want to change the way that people view the Bengals, that they view the Cincinnati Bengals. They view the Cincinnati Bengals as a losing organization. Listen, I've been repping this team for a minute. I've been repping this coaching staff for a minute. I'm not fake. I wore my stripes and I keep it real. Listen, the fact of the matter is, I came here to be the new media. I came here to shine a positive light on this Cincinnati Bengals team and on this amazing ass fan base. So when you got people up here talking about the Bengals aren't this or the Bengals are that, or after the 0-2 start, write the Bengals off, I promise you, the Bengals are going to make a believer out of a lot of people, and it starts this Sunday because this is the damn statement game.
Yeah, it's, the fun part about it, the exciting thing about it is, you kind of talk about all the haters and all the media kind of not necessarily bashing it, but just not buying in to everything that the Cincinnati Bengals are building. Luckily for them, you have every opportunity down the stretch of this season to prove you are, in fact, everything that we continue to come up here weekly and tell everybody that they are. You play the Chiefs, you play the Bills, you play Tom Brady, you play the Ravens. You have every single opportunity to just shut everybody up. You go on a stretch here down the end of the season, and nobody has anything they can say about you besides you are, in fact, the best team in the AFC. And again, it's in front of them. Maybe they do it, maybe they don't, but they have everything capable. They have all the weapons. They have the quarterback. They have the defense. They have everything you need to be that team. And, luckily for us, we get to watch them do it.
So listen to me, Chiefs. Listen to me very clear. I'll make you a prediction. The Bengals are going to beat the Chiefs, and the Bengals are going to make a statement in doing so. And I don't know if you guys have even been told this yet, but I'm going to be at Bengals Gym's tailgate this Sunday, right? And I'm going to be doing the toast and the Who Dey chant to lead us into victory as we beat the Kansas City Chiefs this upcoming Sunday. We're going to make them remember, and we're going to make them respect us while we're at it. Again, as I always say, it's going to be a movie. It's going to be a movie. I just want everybody to bring their popcorn. Bring their popcorn and remember the disrespect. Bengals fans, walk around with your hand held high. Walk around with some damn sense of pride. You're going to meet some Kansas City Chiefs fans that's going to talk about our record is this and that. Okay, well, we the AFC champs. You got to come see us. The Bengals' new motto is they got to play us 110%. They got to play us 110%. They got to see us. So all of this disrespect, just make sure, do me a favor, everybody. Make sure the respect is just as loud as the disrespect, respectfully. We're going to get to some of the questions here. But before we do, if you're looking to start your career, make sure you apply to First Star Logistics. There is no better place with a better work atmosphere than First Star Logistics. You're looking to start your career today as a broker with an unlimited amount of potential. Apply to First Star Logistics today. The link is down in the description. Daniel, we want to get to some of these questions, and we're going to end off with our giveaway afterwards. But let's get to some of these questions.
So first off, people are extremely hyped up after you guys, gave each your little rants. So just give us a prediction right away before we get, everybody else's comments in here. Give me a score prediction. I'm going to go to Logan. Give me a
score predictions. I personally hate score prediction. I'm not giving a score prediction.
I won't give a score prediction, but I would say there's going to be a lot of points scored regardless. I mean, in the two matchups, the Chiefs have scored 49 points in the first half alone, only 6 in the second half though. So I don't, it's going to be kind of hard to have that dominant success in the second half again. But I think a lot of points are going to be scored, and I think it's going to be one of them stereotypical games where whoever has the ball last is probably going to win.
So if you guys got questions, make sure to comment them down below. But I've got a question for each of you guys. Who is the key to victory? Give me one player. Obviously, it could be many players, but give me one player that you think if he steps up can be a huge help.
Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. I don't even got, we ain't got to finish that statement. Joe Burrow. If Joe Burrow is willing dealing the way he's put, no quarterback is getting his receivers involved as much and playing at this high of a level as Joe Burrow right now. If Joe Burrow continues to play this way, lights out. Now, I think he's going to, obviously, and I think that goes without saying, right? But not going with just Joe Burrow. I think if we're talking about getting our running game going, because that way you could dictate the pace of the game. Because the Chiefs don't have a damn good running game. Let's keep it real. And I can't wait for Carlos Dunlap's return either.
Oh, I forgot all about that. I like the point with Joe Burrow. Obviously, it's Joe Burrow, but I am interested to see how he keeps everybody involved. That still needs to be a factor. I know Jamar Chase is back, but there's other people as well. And I think just the more you get everybody involved, the more dangerous the team is. Yeah. But they give a different name again. Man, I mean, he's had a very, very up and down year, but I'm gonna need a good Jesse Bates game this weekend, man. I mean, he kind of played good in that wild card game or in the AFC Championship game last year. The secondary's a little banged up. It's starting to come together a little bit, but Jesse Bates, you want to get paid. These are the games where you make your money.
I had a crazy ass idea, man. And you know what? I want to answer that question a little bit differently. I said Joe Burrow, right? Drew Chrisman, actually. Drew Chrisman. Let me tell you why. Because field positioning is so important against the Kansas City Chiefs. And the way that guy is punting the ball right now, I think the Bengals made the right switch at the right time. I agree. Because that guy's on fire right now. And guess what? If he continues to punt the ball the way he's been punting the ball, the Chiefs are going to be backed up a lot, and the Chiefs are going to have to play. But hopefully we don't have to use him a lot. Hopefully we put up a lot of points as well. But I'm happy that I got you ready to run through a brick wall, Keith, because I'm ready to run through a brick wall, man. I'm ready to run. I'm pumped up, man. I'm excited for this game, man. But we want to get to some more of these questions.
Jacob V is asking the question about Jamar Chase. Is Jamar 100% healthy?
Jamar Chase is healthy. I'm not his doctor. I can't say he's 100% healthy. Jamar Chase is playing this week, though.
Yeah, he even said it today. Speaking to the media a little bit, he said he didn't feel comfortable playing last week. And, maybe I don't think they would have played him anyway, but he said he wasn't comfortable. Said he's comfortable now. So I think that's, at the end of the day, all that matters.
So I'm looking at some of these questions. And, Malik, I want to go back to you and sticking with the same type of question. Yeah. Who will stand out the most on their defense? This was asked by Cruising Through the Week.
So I had a crazy idea, man. And Logan, I want to hear what you got to say about this, because you and me we don't do a lot of discussion as much, right? As we do on the show, we talk to the people, because that's what State of the Jungle is about. It's about the fan base. It's not about our egos. It's not about us. It's not about us selling shit. It's about us propping the fan base up and giving you guys the opportunity to join in on the discussion with us. That's why we want you guys to answer the question. So I had an idea, man. I want to throw by you, man.
Here.
What if Lou threw Jesse Bates at corner, like he played at Wake Forest briefly? Lou throws Jesse Bates at corner. Dax Hill plays free safety. Okay. That way you're not fighting for time on the field. Okay. I'm just spitballing here. Jesse was a phenomenal corner. He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah. I think regardless if that's the kind of plan they want to take, as if it's not, but they need to get all three safeties on the field. And these are the perfect games to do. These are the games you draft all these defensive backs for. We did it a little bit last year at the beginning of the year with Ricardo Allen. Specifically in that Bears game, we ran a ton of three safety sets, and I think this is the perfect week to bring it back, whether it's to contain Travis Kelce, just contain the people in the short yardage, to use Von Bell in the box, whatever you want to do. It sparks a lot of creativity. Having those three safeties on the field, Dax, Jesse, and Von, they do a lot of things, and they do a lot of things very well.
I think our edge rushers too. have to have a big game. Yeah. I think Trey Henderson needs to break through. I think Sam Hubbard needs to break through.
Yeah. The Chiefs only allow 1.3 sacks a game, so they got a good offensive line for a reason. They paid those guys for a reason, but
blitz.
We pay our guys for a reason as well.
Yes, sir. Mike Hilton.
We've got a lot of people agreeing with you guys. So true. Malik, if Joe is cooking, the Chiefs are in deep trouble. Joe is smoldering, burning hot. We've got a question here asking about the Chiefs, though. Who is the Chiefs' best defensive player, whether that's on defensive line, whether that's
Chris Jones.
Without a doubt. And
Chris Jones.
Kind of go off that, Cordell Volson's been tested a lot this year. Here comes another one this Sunday. He's held his own so far this year. But, I mean, they're going to probably try to get him one-on-one as much as possible. Joe even said it. He's one of the best defensive tackles in the league outside of Aaron Donald. So, pretty easily.
Yeah.
Chris Jones.
We've got a comment here from JC Kirk. Also, not a question, but don't forget to give a like, everybody. And Malik, Logan, this is what they do. And if you guys can drop a like, on the video, that'd mean a lot. We've got a question here from Cruising Through the Week. We were talking about this before the show, right? We were talking about the whole Jamar Chase, how the Chief defensive players were going at the Bengals. What does a tuna in a can mean? Did you see that the comment from Jamar Chase?
I ain't got no clue, to be honest with you.
I don't know if I should say it.
Yeah.
I don't think I can say it on this show what it means.
No.
It's wild. Just Google it. It's wild.
Urban Dictionary.
Don't
Google.
So we've got a question here from Pedro. Malik, do you think the chemistry between Burrow and Karras might develop moving forward to a Manning Saturday QB center combo?
You see, I don't want to put that on. I don't want to put that pressure on Karras or Burrow. Not that they even listen to this thing, but the fact of the matter is, I think Ted Karras is a guy. He's a guy.
Yeah.
And as I said before, if you guys don't know, Joe Burrow told the organization that he wanted Ted Karras to be a center. So that's why they actually went out and got Ted Karras, right? So the fact of the matter is, Ted Karras was brought here for a specific purpose, and he's definitely exceeded a lot of expectations. He's been a locker room leader, and I think he's going to continue to grow.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the theme of our free agency the last few years. They're bringing in high quality, just charactered people that really just want to be here, and that goes a long way with your, the relationships in the locker room and the play on the field as well.
We've got a question here from our guy Aiden. Aiden's asking, how likely is it that we see the Bengals Chiefs matchup again in January in the postseason?
It's very likely. I mean, I think that this could be the start of a rivalry.
Yeah,
I think this could be a start of an intense rivalry between two amazing teams and organizations, and I think it could be very similar to a Manning versus Brady.
Yeah, I agree.
Darian is asking, what's the importance of Joe winning multiple games without Jamar Chase?
Very important. I mean, the offense gets the chance to evolve, and now the Bengals can win in different facets, so you have to worry about a lot of different things.
I mean, yeah, it's just everybody stepping up, everybody continuing to make plays. Joe even talked about it after the game last week. Everybody stepping up. I mean, we saw Trayvon Williams making huge plays last week, and those are now everybody's ready for the time to be called, and no matter what the situation comes, ready for it.
Travis Kelce. Everybody's saying he's going to have a monster game. Puggers is asking, should we double cover Travis Kelce? He thinks so.
I think that Trey Flowers did a phenomenal job on Kelce last year. So it's not broke. I wouldn't fix it just yet. I think for some reason Flowers just does well on him.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they attack him in general, because last year you had Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
They have some solid receivers still, but a lot of their work is done in the short yards with Juju, and even Kadarius Toney, he's still banged up. But Travis Kelce's still that guy. But it's a lot easier when you don't have Tyreek Hill. That's all I'm gonna say.
Maybe you put Dax Hill on him.
Yeah, or you're Jesse. Land him up there.
Eric is asking a question that we already discussed on Monday. He's asking if the Bengals come out and win by 2 scores, will they finally include Joe Burrow in the MVP conversation?
They have to.
Yeah,
they have to. I think the way Patrick Mahomes is playing right now, though, it's very hard to pick it over him.
Yeah,
but I just think that Burrow's going to get some consideration, especially if he goes and he beats Patrick Mahomes 3 times in a row. It's 3-0 against him. I think he's going to get a lot of love from voters.
Yeah, it's Mahomes' award to lose at this point, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
Sir Boy Wonders asking, the Bengals, if the Bengals win Sunday, how will they do it?
I mean, I think that the Bengals are the better. If I'm being honest with you, I think the Bengals are the better team overall. I think that the Chiefs need Patrick Mahomes to play amazing in order to be great. I think the Bengals, they can have Joe Burrow pass for 150 yards and still win, or I think Joe Burrow could pass for 400+ yards and still win. I think the Bengals football team is very versatile. It reminds me of the Patriots offense, back when Tom Brady was still there and they were finding different ways to win, whether that be from the defense, whether that be from the special teams, whether that be from the offense. So I think that this Bengals football team has lots of different ways that they can beat you. And I think that they needed, not that they needed Jamar Chase to go out, they needed to find their way. They needed to find their offensive rhythm, and I think they certainly did that. I think that this time also allowed this. I think that it also allowed that the play callers, Brian Callahan and Zach Taylor, to progress as play callers. So
yeah, a little bit of a different answer too. I touched on it a little bit at the beginning of the show, but just their timely, long, methodical drives they've been having time and time again. It's uber important this week against a team like the Chiefs. When you have 5, 6, 7 minutes remaining, you don't really want to give the ball back to Patrick Mahomes at any point in time, whether that's before half, even just before a 2-minute mark, whatever it is. You need to continue to have your long, timely, methodical drives that result in touchdowns.
Spooled Up TV is asking about the Kansas City Chiefs running game. He knows that Kansas City Chiefs, they didn't run the ball in the second half. He thinks it's a Lou trap game. If they try to force a run, do you think Lou will be ready to pounce on the
Yes.
run?
Yes. Lou Anarumo is not a defensive coordinator that you're going to really surprise him with a lot of stuff. He prepares for everything. And I'll say this: um, I'm very confident in the Bengals. Um, I'm very confident in the Bengals' run defense. You saw what they did to Derrick King Henry just this past Sunday. I think that they can hold Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Isaiah Pacheco and that group in check.
Yeah, I mean, they're just naturally good at defending the run. I don't think it's something they have to sit here and really worry about. Pacheco's been, he's a little bit of a better athlete at the running back position than they've seen lately. Maybe that gives some fits, but regardless, our linebacker core has been phenomenal. Defensive line's just been phenomenal. The run game's just the run defense is just naturally good at this point.
Taking a peek at the Chiefs defense, do the Chiefs have it in them personnel and scheme wise to prevent blowups by the Bengals wide receivers again this year?
No, they don't.
Not really. I mean, they're going to try some stuff. I mean, I don't know what, but
Listen,
very good.
we know what Spags likes to do. He likes to blitz.
Yep.
He likes to blitz. He likes to be exotic. It didn't work the first 2 times. It's not going to work this time. Gonna have to try a different wrinkle.
Yeah.
But you better pray that Carlos Dunlap can get those hands up quick enough because he's certainly going to take a couple plays off.
Matthew Heitzman is asking about the weather. If it is rainy on Sunday, do you think that the Bengals will emphasize their running game a little bit more, or do you think their game plan will stay the same no matter if it's rainy or not?
I mean, I think the Bengals, if the Bengals get the running game going, the Chiefs are in trouble.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And I think regardless of the weather, the Bengals need to effectively use the run. I think they need to. I think the Bengals need to effectively try to get the run game going, and I think the Bengals need to be able to shut down the Chiefs running game to make them one-dimensional.
I think a lot of maybe not necessarily the running game in general, but the use of the people out of the backfield has really killed the Chiefs this year. We've had 6 games with running backs, fullbacks, people coming out of the backfield to have 40-plus receiving yards. 3 times it's gone over 75, including a 107-yard performance from the Chargers from the Bucs a few weeks ago. So regardless, anybody coming out of the backfield is probably going to have success, whether it's running the football in the screen game, in the pass game in general. They're going to be involved.
We've got a lot of questions. If you guys have any,
keep them coming. Keep them coming. All of them. Let's get to as many people. Again, this show is about you guys. It's not about us. The show is about you guys. This is why we do the show. This is why, I for years I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna do a Bengals show, man. But the information that I do get, I think that it's good to allow the fan base. I want to bridge the gap between, information media and the fan base also being in the know. So yeah, let's keep it going.
That goes well with our next question or comment. Followed you on Twitter for a while. First time watching the show. Can I say how much I respect you guys for answering questions without asking for money? Great show. Definitely becoming a weekly watch. We appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, my man. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. This is why we came to Cincinnati. I uprooted my life in Jersey. Daniel uprooted his life in California. We came here strictly for this fan base, man. We love you guys.
We got a question here from Overnight. Malik, in your opinion, how is Cam Taylor-Britt coming along as a starting cornerback since Cheeto's injury?
I think Cam Taylor-Britt is a dog. I think he's a guy that I'm really, really excited about. I need to see him continue to progress in coverage. But Cam Taylor-Britt, we got a guy in him.
Absolutely. He reminds me of a lot of Mike Hilton, to be honest. Not that he's necessarily that slot guy, but he's just always in the play. No matter where the football is, he's just always seems to be around it. Led our team in tackles 2 weeks ago. He's always around the football. He's making plays, and he's hustling all over the field, and can't ask for much more than that.
Honest Fan is asking about the running back room. Do we see more snaps coming Samaje Perine's way, even when Mixon returns?
Absolutely. There's no way you turn. I mean, we already saw him getting a lot of snaps even with Mixon in there. But the guy had just proven that Samaje Perine is the epitome of consistency. And so, I mean, Joe Mixon is great as well. So, I mean, I think that is good to have a running back by committee to sort of change up the pace. And, the defense gets used to the way one guy runs the ball, then another guy comes in and they run the ball a little more violent, a little more efficiently, so to speak. And you're like, wow, man, how do we stop him? You got Chris Evans. You got Travion Williams. You got so many different, impact players in the running back room that could definitely shock a lot of people. So 100%, I think that as we continue on this way, I think that Samaje Perine has definitely earned himself a lot more snaps. The guy's a dog.
I think running back by committee kind of gets, a little bit like it's a little have some negative connotation to it, I feel like. But like at the end of the day, it's a long season. You got to keep these guys healthy, whether your one's Joe Mixon, Perine, whoever it is. You got to keep people healthy for the whole year. And I think, that's kind of what they're doing. They're going to continue to do that. People have earned more snaps, and you got to give it to them.
We've got some people talking about DJ Reader. And I kind of want to just pose the question to both of you guys. How has DJ Reader played to you guys since his injury?
I think DJ Reader's played well, man. Yeah. The guy literally came back. He proved that he's still, the gravedigger. The guy is still a problem, man. And He's one of the most underrated, underappreciated nose tackles in the National Football League, who I think has also developed a nice pass rush repertoire to his game as well.
Yeah, I mean, DJ's he's good. He's one of those positions that doesn't really get a lot of love from really anybody. I mean, outside of your fan base is obviously the Bengals fan base knows how important DJ Reader is, but like outside of that, people tend to struggle. But he's one of the best in the league at what he does.
Yeah.
Not a question, but more of a comment from our guy Mike Reeves, sending love and support to my brother Malik. Houday.
Houday, brother, man. Mike's been supporting me, back when I used to work for Back Sports Page in New Jersey, man. I appreciate you, Mike, man. Love you, brother.
Question from Joshua Newman. Now, no, we already talked about Lou a little bit, but he says, will Ludini Anarumo continue to baffle the Chiefs offense in the second half of this game like he did in the previous two matchups?
Yes, I do. I think he has Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid's number. I do think that the Chiefs are going to have success. I think they're going to score points. I just think that with how the Bengals have come back in both of those two games previously, the Chiefs don't get an opportunity to ever feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You ask me.
Yeah, just like you said, just makes them not feel comfortable ever. I mean, to the degree of only scoring 3 points in the second half both times, maybe not, but Lou's made amazing second half adjustments quite literally since he's been here. So I don't expect it to change this week.
Keith Bradley is asking, how will the front office manage to re-sign Logan Wilson, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow in the same year? They will all get a bag.
That's tough. That'll be tough to say because all those guys are deserving.
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself, has Logan Wilson done enough to get top of the market middle linebacker money? I don't know. T. Higgins, I mean, through negotiations, a lot comes down to snaps, injuries, things of that nature, and obviously performance, things of that, and all that kind of stuff. So, like, it's really, really tough to say. Obviously, the Bengals like to bring all those guys back. I know T. Higgins. I've told you guys what was told to me. They will not allow the Mohamed Sanu Marvin Jones situation to play out again. So I expect T. Higgins to be here. I expect Logan Wilson to be here. And of course, the Bengals have always paid their quarterbacks. I mean, there's a reason why they changed the name to Paycor Stadium. They're gearing up. They know what they got to do. So
I think we talked about it last show a little bit too. It's going to come to a point where some of your favorite players probably are making too much money, whether they're cut, restructured. I know the Bengals don't restructure too much, but they got to prioritize some people, whether that's trimming down the running back room, wide receiver room. Decisions are going to start getting tough, but that's a fun part about being good.
Yeah.
That's a bad part about being good, I should say, but they definitely can do it if they want.
Question here from the Platypus. Do you think that the OPI against Chris Evans opened the door for more Trayvon Williams chances?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the fan base has, not like obsessed over, but really wants to see Chris Evans succeed. At the end of the day, for some reason, he doesn't get the opportunities, whether that's practice snaps, whether that's, having that crucial offensive pass interference plays, whether it's not being good on special teams, whatever it is, he can't seem to figure it all out. And Trayvon Williams stepped up to the plate. I mean, I don't know how that figures out long term, but for right now, it's kind of hard not to see Williams above him.
Grant Geyser asked an offseason question. Will Jermaine Pratt be a priority for the front office to re-sign in the offseason? Thanks for the entertainment, guys.
of course, man. Of course, we appreciate your support. And yeah, for sure, Jermaine Pratt has definitely proven himself for sure. And I know the front office, definitely would like that guy back. Him and Logan Wilson have been a great tandem together. Especially, I don't know if Akeem Davis-Gaither has progressed the way they've, sort of envisioned. And Marcus Bailey, they're still waiting to take that next step. So yeah, for sure.
Charles Simmons is asking, do you think the 3 tech is the Bengals' biggest weakness on their entire team right now?
I think BJ Hill is a problem. So I'm not gonna say that. Obviously, you can always upgrade a position. Not everybody's gonna be a Hall of Famer. Not everybody's gonna be Geno Atkins, right? But you definitely can get better at the position. I don't look at BJ Hill as a weakness personally. That's just me. I definitely think I would look at corner, and I think that they need another true pass rusher personally, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree.
Question here from Honest Fan. All right, Malik, just break my heart right now. Will Lou Anarumo be in Cincinnati next season?
Don't know, but I know the guys definitely got interest around the league. The Giants were interested in him last year. I think the Dolphins were interested in him briefly as well. I don't know. We'll see.
I think, Lou's he continues to fly under the radar. We all here know how great he is. There's always just seems to be one random defensive coordinator that just jumps him for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, people are talking about D'Amico Ryans and the 49ers getting a head coaching opportunity, but Lou's been doing it consistently year in and year out. He's extremely deserving. Who knows when the time will come, but it's coming.
Let's go to a Simmons review and react. I like his question. I want to get to the people.
What is one player that was close to coming to Cincy but ended up elsewhere?
That's a funny question. So this is again some information. if you're talking about this year, I don't really know. I mean, Jerron Reed, AJ Boye, those are guys the Bengals have tried the last 2 years to grab, and they've chose other destinations. But those are two guys that the Bengals really like, AJ Boye and Jerron Reed. And Jerron Reed always seems to pick against the Bengals. I mean, pick someone else other than the Cincinnati Bengals, and that would have definitely uh, secured us in the defensive tackle room, especially with the loss of Larry and Joby. But Jerron Reed chose to go somewhere else, so that's where he did. And AJ Boye I think OJ Boye signed somewhere else. I'm not exactly where he signed. Maybe the Broncos. He signed somewhere. I don't know.
And they're the Panthers.
Panthers, maybe it was one of those teams. He signed somewhere, but yeah. Let's get to some more people, man. I want to
going back up. I know we already talked about Joe Mixon or Samaje Perine, but Monica's asking the question: are you starting Joe Mixon or Perine this week if Mixon plays?
Ooh. No, I'm starting Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon's your starting running back. I mean, Joe Mixon had 5 touchdowns. You can't not start him. But I definitely think you mix Samaje Perine in there, get a change of pace in the back. I think you go about it depending on who's having the stronger drive. That's what I would do.
Just ride the hot hand. Sometimes it's easier than we make it be.
Yeah.
Cruzan through the week is asking shot play to Chase on the first play of the game.
I would do it. I would test that fence.
Yeah. The only issue, I think the Chiefs might be thinking the same thing. But regardless, I'm down.
Yeah.
Question here from Tammy T. Do you think we will see any Kwame Lassiter on offense Sunday, or will he be like Stanley Morgan, who is predominantly special teams?
I don't see him having a.
He probably won't be elevated this week with Jamar back.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Lassiter's a fun little project guy for sure.
Somebody said Eric has a good question. What question is Eric?
Eric is asking the question. I believe this is about Callahan. How about Callahan? If he gets a head coach job somewhere, will pitcher get the OC job?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a logical promotion, but I also, I think I'll just leave it at that.
Jacob is asking, and this is kind of the question, that all Bengals fans are asking, could Joe take the Brady route and take slightly less money to ensure keeping someone like T. Higgins?
If you ask me, I think Joe Burrow is one of the most selfless guys in the National Football League, and I could 100% see him doing that. I know I don't want to be the person to start the movement on that, and I don't want the fan base to turn on him if he chooses to get his money.
Yes.
But I could definitely see Joe Burrow taking that route because he understands the importance of winning. He understands the importance of long-term success, and Joe Burrow's here to win, to be the best.
Yeah.
And when it's all said and done, he's not in it for the money.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Joe's going to be here regardless. Obviously, we want him to be here for as long and cheap as possible, but I want Joe Burrow to get paid, just everything about it. He deserves it. So whatever happens, I'm okay with. Everybody's okay with. So just don't freak out.
We paid Andy. We'll pay Joe.
Yeah.
Pretty cool question here, and this is, one I haven't really heard of from the Platypus. Is it crazy to think that Ted Karras eventually takes over as the offensive line coach when he's done playing here with the Bengals?
Up to Ted,
it's tough to say because, Bengals tend to keep their offensive line coaches pretty long. The last guy, Paul Alexander, he was here for 20. He was here longer than Marvin Lewis. He was here for 23 years.
Yeah.
So I could see it. I don't envision Frank Pollock going anywhere for the first year. Sure. I certainly think Frank Pollock will be coaching here probably long after Ted Karras is retired. Personally.
Once again, Matt Heitzman is asking, this is a great question. I see Volson as a huge hit in the draft. How do you like his progress so far? And he's got another question.
He's what they call a glass eater, right? You guys like that, right?
Yeah.
I think Cordell Volson has made a believer out of me. One thing about me is I'm slow to judge. When I saw a lot of people talking about Cordell Volson, I was like, hey man, I know the fan base sorts to fixate on players and things of that nature, and I'm like, I got to see it, man. We had high hopes for Jackson Carman, man. I would say the Bengals have the best fan base in terms of that knows what's going on the football field, cap situation, the whole 9 yards. And I would say that I was just very non-committal on Cordell Volson to start, but Cordell Volson has made a believer out of me. The guy has been very, very consistent as an offensive lineman and as a starter in his rookie year, man. It's been pretty cool to see.
And I mean, when you come from an FCS school, North Dakota State, hell of a football program.
Yeah.
But still, it's a really small school, older prospect. He's going to slide a little bit, but he's been great. The Bengals get a lot of flack for not drafting pretty well offensive linemen early, and that's totally fair. But their last 2 later round offensive lineman picks, Cordell Volson, Akeem Adinejai, say what you want about him, for a 6th-round pick, he's been a hell of a player. Trey Hill's, a good developmental guy as well. So, they might not hit on them early, but they've definitely hit on them late.
The second part of his question was asking about Jonah Williams.
Yeah.
Do you think Jonah Williams played hurt after the kneecap, and that's why we're seeing a decline?
I think Jonah Williams 100% played hurt after the kneecap, and I also think that Jonah Williams has had a nice bounce back the last 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
And the guy is a dog.
Malik, this question's from Pedro. How do you think Lou is going to prepare to cover prepare the players who cover the one guy, Travis Kelce?
You see, I think that's the beautiful thing, though. The Bengals have we look at it and we're like, well, the Bengals they don't have Chidobe Awuzie 100%. That's a huge loss because he makes things so much easier on the entire defense. But they do have guys that match up well with Travis Kelce. They do have Trey Flowers, who has experience, who matched up with him twice in both of those games and had a lot of success when they went to that shift. I feel like Lou went to that shift later in the second half once he saw how the team was playing. And Travis Kelce started to play get a little frustrated because he was like, man, this guy fell over me. But I think the Bengals could do a lot of different things. I think the Bengals can match up Trey Flowers on him. I think the Bengals can match up Dax Hill on him. I think the Bengals can do so many different things. And I think the Bengals ultimately will have success because I think they're going to make sure Patrick Mahomes relies on his other weapons like Juju Smith-Schuster and other weapons. He's not going to allow Travis Kelce to beat him. That's one thing Lou's very, very good at.
It's a little bit. It sounds a little bit weird, but there's some power with the defense coordinators knowing where you want to throw the football, and he wants to throw the football to Travis Kelce every time. And I don't blame the guy, but Lou's going to know that. Everybody knows that. So it's going to be interesting not only how Lou responds, but how the Chiefs respond.
And I think that's one of the best things that Lou does. He finds the best opposing, player on opposing defense, and it's the same thing, that Bill Belichick has done time and time again. So I think we're going to see a lot of that out of Lou. Joshua Newman has a question here. It's about the wide receivers.
Sure.
Does T continue to take a backseat to Jamar in clutch situations, or is it more 50-50 since T's been balling out?
Let me make no mistake about it. Jamar Chase is the guy in Cincinnati. Let's make no mistake about it. But I think, again, this was so crucial for Joe Burrow in this offense growing as a whole, knowing that they have other guys he can rely on a consistent basis. Listen, do not discount Trent Irwin. Trent Irwin's going to have a role in this offense moving forward. The guy, listen, when a guy proves you he could play at a high level and he's a baller, you continue to get him on the field, right? Those things will not stop. All the Bengals did was realize they have more people that they could rely on.
We got a question here from Keith, sticking with the offensive lineman. What do the Bengals do with Jackson Carman?
Whatever they want to do with him.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to keep this going. Going back to the Travis Kelce thing, could we see Lou put Logan Wilson on Travis Kelce one-on-one?
I don't think anybody will ever be a Travis Kelce one-on-one. It's probably not a good idea. But
we got a question here from Matt, and this is questions directed at Logan. Logan, why do most fan bases and national media personalities not talk about the Bengals? Is it just a small market, or is it the narrative much bigger than that?
I think it's, a little bit of everything. Obviously, I think the things you just said are true, but it's just when you kind of come out of nowhere, people either love you or hate you, and it just kind of depends who's loving you or who's hating you. I think the Bengals have done a great job. They have a hell of a football team, and if people don't want to acknowledge that, that's fine. They can be wrong, but I think it really just comes from, when you make people uncomfortable and when you kind of come out of nowhere, people kind of downplay you all the time. You've seen it in a bunch of different sports. Just right now, it's the Bengals' turn to kind of be written off until they prove themselves time and time again.
Yeah, everybody's pretty much loving these, discussions that we're having. Jay Roberts is more of a comment. He's saying a fresher Jamar and T in the fourth quarter means trouble, and Irwin grabbing snaps is a good thing.
Yeah, Jay's the man, man. He follows me on Twitter. He's a good guy, and he hit the nail on the hammer right there. I agree with you, Jay. I think that Trent Irwin getting more snaps is only a positive thing for this offense and positive thing for Jamar and T. Now we know we have other weapons we can rely on.
And Smash is also adding to the point. It's the narrative. He said the media is always bashed on the Bengals.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. 100%. But guess what? This is the game. This is the game we make them remember. This is the game where the Bengals can earn respect for the remainder of the season.
Yeah.
And they'll be the talk of the town.
We've got another question. This one, Malik, we've talked about this a lot. Could we see Trent Irwin replace Tyler Boyd in the future?
Keith, I think you remember what I said on the last show. I think that the emergence of Trent Irwin makes things financially easier on the Bengals moving forward. Again, obviously the Bengals will want to bring back Tyler Boyd and things of that nature, but you just look at it. The emergence of Trent Irwin has been really, really awesome.
Cruising through the week is asked, and this is actually a great question, trying to get inside the head of, Joe Burrow. Do you think Burrow is more amped up after hearing the trash talk today, or do you think it doesn't faze him at all?
I think Joe Burrow will never let you know that it phases him, but
Yeah.
I think of course, the guy, this is the same guy that said he remembers every single scout or every single coach that told him he wasn't good enough or didn't give him an offer. He remembers everything. So you be the judge of that.
Yeah.
I think Joe Burrow, I think they see all of that. And this is the guy that threw for 500 yards on Wink Martindale's defense last year after Wink, made some comments about it.
And that's why he said he likes playing the Ravens so much, because he knows they like to talk and Joe Burrow likes to finish things. So
Smash Adams is asking more of, a practice squad question. Does Tyron Johnson ever get put on the 53-man roster?
Tough to see.
yeah, I mean, the only person he'd really be working to replace is Trent Taylor. So that's going to come down to his special teams. And he's been a good returner throughout his career. He provides speed, which nobody really on the team really has. So it wouldn't shock me, but it'd be a very, very small role. So
The Platypus is asking, if a cornerback falls to the Bengals in the draft, do you think it hurts Mike Hilton's chances to get another contract here?
No, the Bengals love Mike Hilton. They coveted him. Like that coaching staff partied when they were able to when they landed Mike Hilton. I know that for a fact. And Mike Hilton he plays slot corner too.
Yeah,
so,
that's right. He has a very specific role.
Yeah.
There's not too many. You don't typically draft a slot corner in the first round too often.
Right.
He's a hell of a player.
All right. Alrighty, so I think we're going to get to the giveaway. The giveaway of the Bengals starter jacket. Congrats to Houday Baby and Houday last week for being our winners. But now we want to get to the winner of the Bengals starter jacket giveaway. We did the raffle live on video right before the show. So it's now time to find out the winner. So Daniel, roll the clip. Foremost, I want to thank everybody for participating in the Bengals starter jacket giveaway and for following our YouTube channel and following First Star. It's now time to pick a winner. As you guys see, we had a lot of complaints before. People saying, oh, we want to see the visual. How do we know you're not handpicking the winner? Well, this is live and in person, so it's time to figure out who's winning the Bengals starter jacket giveaway. Daniel, let's figure it out. And we got ourselves a winner. Congratulations to @BengalsJanitor. You are the winner of the Bengals starter jacket giveaway. We have one more jacket that we're going to be giving away next week. So the same criteria. Subscribe to the Sit Downs YouTube channel and follow First Star Logistics for a chance to win. Congratulations again. So congratulations to @TheBengalsJanitor for winning the Bengals starter jacket giveaway. You are our winner for this week. We have one more jacket to give away that we'll be giving away next week. But congratulations to the Bengals janitor. We'll make sure we make a post. Make sure you DM me all your info, where to mail it to, things of that nature. But again, I'm pumped up for this game. I'm really, really jazzed up for this game. It's been a lot of disrespect going on the Bengals way. And Bengals fans, again, as I said earlier on the show, walk with a sense of pride. You guys, we are the AFC defending champions. They have to play us. The Kansas City Chiefs, a team that we are very familiar with, a team that we beat to go to the Super Bowl, a team that we beat to increase our playoff chances. I'm pumped. I'm going to be right there with you guys, live from the First Star Logistics suite. I'm going to be at Bengals Gym's tailgate doing the toast and leading the Houday chant, leading us into victory. But as I always say, Bengals fans, make sure you guys are jazzed up for this game. Make sure you guys show up loud and proud to support this team. Let's wear orange. Let's orange it out, right? Let's orange it out. Let's make sure Paycor Stadium is the loudest they've ever heard. And all I got to say to everybody who doubted the Cincinnati Bengals, do me a favor. Do me a favor, a special favor. Bring your popcorn. Because guess what? This game is can't miss. We'll see you next week live on State of the Jungle.
Up all day and all night, pushing all the buttons.